What's up, ballers? Jacob here with episode 40 of the AllDriveNoDrop podcast. It's a solo show today. David is off on his honeymoon in Japan right now. We hope he will be back with us for next episode. But I have some really interesting things to talk about today. I'm going to talk about power paddle meta-analysis. I think it's a good time. There's a ton of stuff that just came out recently. I want to kind of just walk through it. I have a new stat that I think will be very helpful for people that want to look at different swing weight ranges. It is basically power per swing weight ratio. I want to just go over that and what I think about it, how it can help you, and just, it's a fun new stat to look at, and we might be calling it the all drive stat. We'll see what we're going to name it. And then I have some new paddles that are coming up. I'll just briefly go over those, and I haven't hit some of them yet, so just talk about those. So a lot of good stuff. We are going to get into it. And first, we'll start with the new paddles because that is the quickest thing to go over. We have a new one from Warping Point. This is the Nightblade. It is edgeless, so we're going to check that out later. Brent just got this in the mail today. It's pretty gritty there. And David actually met the owners, so that was pretty cool while he was over in China. And then I know one that a lot of people have been excited for is this F1 Terracore XC, the flick paddle from Body Helix. Now, this one, hopefully we'll actually be hitting after this podcast when I go play. This is super gritty. This is a all foam paddle, some different designs. I hope they'll have an X-ray for the core or show the core cut open, but this will be fun. I know a lot of people that have been in their sandbox program, which is kind of like the labs program for Selkirk, to get early access, have been loving it. So we'll check that out. But yeah, those are two new paddles that we will be checking out. There also are the PaddleTech GTOs, the new hybrid shape from PaddleTech. I have been hitting those. They've asked us not to share anything yet on those, so I won't be talking about that in today's episode. I believe people can't start talking about it until the release date, so you probably see the reviews out on that. I'm not sure if I'll have a review out on that. Very busy. I've got a tournament coming up this next weekend, playing men's 4-5 plus, and then not the weekend after, but the weekend 2-3 weeks from now, I'll be playing in Beer City Mixed, and also I'll be going around with David. David will be there too, and we'll be filming and making some content. We have media passes to go around and get courtside, so keep in mind that if you have anything you want to talk about or you want us to try. But I do want to get into some paddle talk now. So I know a lot of people have been asking me, I need to get my my database link live. Probably need to get a website too. But you know what? Let's get into the paddles, right? I'll just share the new stat. We're going to bring up on the screen here. Bring this up on the screen, right? This is all the stats. So this power per swing weight ratio, basically it is the serve speed, the power, the miles per hour divided by the swing weight. And that gives us this decimal here. And basically what this does is for each point of swing weight, you would add that power up. So you multiply those 104 swing weight by 56 and you'd get to that 0.538 number. So obviously a lot of the lower swing weights are going to have a higher ratio here. But basically I wanted to give an idea of you get a lot of these different swing weight ranges, and it's like, okay, but what if I added weight to that? How much power would it get? And I have recorded some. I guess I only have one. I have the Franklin C45 with weight in here, just to show what the difference would be. Okay, so let's filter for Franklin, because there's only one I have right now that has both unweighted and weighted data. So you can see here, we got the Franklin C45 that is no weight added. And there I got a 54.7 miles per hour serve. And then with 16 grams of weight, I got 56.8. But now you go to the power per swing weight, you would see that it's still getting more power per point of swing weight with the stock C45 than with the 16 grams. And basically, I think if you did this over all the paddles, it would be kind of similar, but I need to, do that analysis. But I think what this does is shows that, yeah, there's going to be diminishing returns, right? There's, of course, the heavier you make something, the slower you can swing it. So obviously there's going to be some diminishing returns the more weight you add. The less power per swing weight you're going to get. And then, with that swing weight going up to 115 from 105, and then the twist weight, spin went up for me on that. It gives you a good idea of, okay, just because these lower swing weights have more power per swing weight doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to, you know, just scale up, right? Like I said, they have diminishing returns. But what I wanted to show with this is that you have potential to get a better power paddle out of these lower swing weights. Like, I think these ones right here are great. You have the PaddleTech ESQC 12.7. It's already a pretty powerful paddle. It's very poppy in the stock form. But when you add weight and you get that swing weight up higher, it just becomes like, a cannon. And you can see Anna Lee wraps her whole paddle head. I don't even know how much she wraps it with, but she wraps it in a lot of weight. And then another one that probably isn't on a lot of people's radar is this Revolin Torch Pier long handle, which I don't have the, I'll pull it up after this, after we get done talking here. I have the Reach with me right now, but the Revolin torches are actually kind of slept on. The company is in Michigan as well as like PaddleTech, and I think I don't know if the core is exactly the same, but they do use like lava rock basalt for the surface. And yeah, it's not as stiff for me as the PaddleTechs either, but they have a lot of pop. They have good power per swing weight, and they're really slept on. And obviously you can see the price is $225, goes down a little. I guess the price is actually an even bigger difference to the PaddleTech. The PaddleTech doesn't do discounts right now, and Revolin does. So you end up getting a 25, so 250 to 200 with pretty similar performance, honestly. So the Revolins are definitely being slept on right now, and I am trying to get a review ready on those, but interesting stuff there. And then you see the Vatic Pro Saga Bloom. This one was pretty powerful for the swing weight as well. But obviously you can see the top of here, you're going to have all lower swing weight. Really the first one we kind of get to is this Honolulu J2 NFK, which mine came in at 112 swing weight. That made it up there. And then before you get into another 110, you get the Yellow Pro 4 Scorpius. But anyway, this swing weight, this power per swing weight ratio is just something to help guide you, like to see, how powerful these paddles are, kind of give you an idea of like difference between like a 104 swing weight and a 115 swing weight. You can it's not really like you can compare it 1-to-1, but it just gives you an idea, right? Like, just gives you an idea of how powerful it is. It just gives you an idea for how powerful it is at that swing weight ratio. Now, let's talk about just some different paddles here in this power paddle. Let me just go down this list, kind of talk about some different power paddles now, and exactly like how these are kind of shaping up, right? So at the top right now, we do have the Rhombus Ripples, the elongated hybrid. And as you can see, that swing weight ratio, really not great. So what that tells me is that some of the power is just kind of coming from that higher swing weight. I haven't actually heard much about any ripples breaking down, so it seems like those have been fine. I think the problem here is that these ripples are just, they don't feel as good as the old ones, and then really the hybrid's the one that like you're gonna want. It's just it needs a little extra weight to help, and it just seems to be too high of a starting swing weight for people to want to start customizing. So while they're the top listed paddles and power for me, I think that they're probably not the best fit for most people. And then you come with these Yola Pro for Perseus and Agassi. And I mean, these are some of the best elongateds on the market, right? The 16 and 14 millimeters. I have started to hear more issues about them breaking. So, I mean, obviously, the harder the hitter you are, the worse that's going to be and the faster it's going to happen. But, still really top tier elongated paddles here. And for elongated, the swing weight's not too high starting, so you can still modify them. So, I mean, like still top five in power paddle category. You see the Rhombus Ripple wide body? This one is that one's a hard recommendation for me. Just the swing weight's really high for a wide body, and it kind of like defeats the purpose of the wide body for me, unless you really like that wider sweet spot. The Holbrook Arma T. So this one I actually loved at first, and if it didn't change over time, I would still love it. It is one of the harder ones to play with, though. It is probably the stiffest on this list, besides maybe like the TKLC Bantams, which was another problem for me because the stiffer it is, I do get some elbow pain. It is a little harder to control. It was consistent. It's just really poppy off the face and a little harder to control. But the problem is with this core that the Arma series is using is it starts heating up. Mine started heating up. I've heard a lot of reports that it's heating up. And if you see that core X-ray where you have the two different densities meeting, you can just tell it's kind of setting up for failure, which is unfortunate. Maybe if they just went to the 10 millimeter cell size, it would be fine. Like, don't even mess with combining the cores. So yeah, Holbrook Arma T would just not be there. Now the Honolulu J2NF, I mean, this is the one I'm going to use for my next tournaments. I kind of just lock that in because one, I'm still trying a lot of different paddles, but two, I needed to lock in a paddle decision for the next 3 weeks since I have 2 tournaments. And this one has just fit me. First, I'm very comfortable with the J2 shape. Hybrid's still my favorite shape, and I played the J2K last summer for a lot of my tournaments. So now that the J2NF is now that Honolulu's making the J2 and a power paddle, this is just excellent for me. It comes in at the 114 swing weight, great for the hybrid. That's what people are really looking for, that like 112 to 114. Obviously super stable. You get a ton of spin, and the price is pretty good. Goes down to 175 after a discount, right? So not talking 280 like the Yolas or 250 like the Paddletechs. A lot more affordable. And then the pop is not too poppy. I like it poppy, but I don't like it where it's like, especially on my flicks, I feel like if it gets too poppy, my flicks are off. I want enough pop for my counter punches, but I don't want too much pop for my flicks. And then the power level is great. And now on that, I'll show it after I'm done talking about all these, but I changed my weight setup and I'm really loving how much, a little bit of boost in power I get from it. And it has, I mean, this has the best sweet spot of probably any paddle I've ever used. So that's another thing. I love the feel too. Really feel connected to the ball. It's not too muted. It's not too stiff. It's kind of just like in that sweet spot. So yeah, Honolulu J2NF, really, really recommend. Paddletech Bantam TKOC. So all these Bantams, like the Annalee Waters, the SQs, the Cs, I think they are good paddles, and I think a lot of people like that they have better durability than some of the Gen 2, Gen 3 paddles. And that's one thing I should mention. Still haven't heard of anyone having any problems with these Honolulu NF series. I mean, I think pretty much only reviewers have them right now, but the reviewers have been hitting them a lot and haven't had any issues. So, and I've put probably 25 hours on mine, so I haven't had any issues yet. So a lot of people like the Bantams because they don't break down. Obviously, they have really good power and pop as well. For me, I just like always end up getting elbow issues with them. But for the people that want that extra durable power paddle, still really great. And then for the GTOs, their hybrid shape, they put a lot of time into that shape, and it's a unique shape. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you it's a unique shape. I think I can say that. I won't comment anymore. Selkirk SLK Era, which is coming out June 24th, so that'll be in time. It'll be in time for tomorrow if you're watching the podcast on Monday, the first day it comes out. But this one is really, really good. I think this is like kind of a sweet spot where it's It's a great elongated paddle, and they have this in a wide body too. I just haven't tried it. It's a great elongated paddle that's really sturdy, amazing sweet spot that delivers that power and pop punch combo. I did see that a lot of people are reporting a lower swing weight, so I think my swing weight kind of came in at the higher end of the range. So probably I've seen like all the way down to 116, and I think 119 is the highest I've seen, so that's probably the range. But yeah, I think that the SLK era is going to be a very popular one. And if you want, and it does have a 1-year warranty. I need to look and see what some of these other warranties are. But Selkirk has some of the strongest warranties in the game, and they usually take care of people. So I'm pretty interested to see how many people start playing with the SLK era. I think it's going to be very popular. Proton Flamingo, you know, it is one of the higher swing weights on the list, one of the heavier paddles on the list, but it performs very well. The problem is this is one of the fastest paddles to break on the list. You could put it up there with the Holbrook Arma, and for that reason, I would just not recommend you buy a Proton Flamingo. Customer service is not the best on this end either. I have a few friends that use these, and it always takes them, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Sometimes they're out of stock. Like, this is probably the slowest turnaround in getting your paddle warranty, which is, it's how often they break. I can't. There's so many other good power paddles. I won't waste your time with the Proton Flamingo right now. But if they get that nanotech surface with the power, then we're talking. Like, that would probably be, a top paddle. Honolulu J2 FC Plus. Now this one is one that I think if you like a little bit soft, if you were hearing the NF and you're like, hey, I want something that's a little softer, I want something with a little less pop, but still want that power, and a little bit more dwell, then the J2FC Plus is going to be it. This, like, if the NF didn't exist, then I would probably be playing with the FC Plus, to be honest. It's just that I like the NF so much more than the FC Plus, but the FC Plus might be a better fit for your game if you want a little bit more touch and you want a little bit more dwell, less pop. And then we got the Yola Pro 4 Scorpius wide body 60mm. I think that's still a really great wide body. The handle's just too short for me. That's kind of where I get hung up on it. But if you are okay with that 5.25 inch handle, then you'll be fine. Element 6 Shooter. So this is a really good hybrid from a new smaller company. Very poppy. Similar design kind of as the Ripple. I'm sure the image is floating out there of the core. This one, 115 swing weight. I think I got another one that was like on the higher end. Very stable too. I think this has a better sweet spot than the Ripple. It just doesn't hit quite as hard, but it's not too far away. If you compared this one straight up to the Ripple hybrid, I would say most people might prefer this one if you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of power for sweet spot size. I'll just touch on one more here. Actually, I'll touch on a couple more. Franklin C45 Dynasty 16mm. This one is really good if you want something that's not too poppy, but still has that power and, has really good touch. So if you're someone that's like, hey, I don't want something that is too poppy, but I want the power in elongated shape, this Franklin C45 Dynasty is really, really good. Gearbox Pro Ultimate Power, I wasn't the biggest fan. Is too high of a swing weight. I think most people aren't going to like that. J2 NFK, not bad, just a little stiffer, and from what I've been hearing, it does soften up over time. Unfortunately, I cut mine open, so I can't experience that, but I think some people might like that better just with the feel. J2K Plus, I'm going to say, is kind of winding down here. The J2 NF just does everything better. Vapor Power, still really solid paddle, really stable paddle, a little bit on the stiffer side, but gets that good dwell, good spin, really big sweet spot. I think that the 11624 Vapor Power is still really good. Obviously a really great price too. And then one other one I should call out is the Friday Fever, which comes in at, I think, one of the lowest swing weights for the power paddles in elongated form. And this one I need to measure with weight too, because this one, with weight and it breaks in a little bit. This one just transforms. I've converted a lot of people to the Friday Fever locally. They just love the feel, they love the performance, and obviously at $100, which they were going to raise the price, but they kept the price lower because they're like they wanted to keep the price at 100. This one, yeah, the Friday Fever, that's is definitely my front runner for best paddle, $100 and lower for the year, and it just helps that it's a power paddle. That one's really, that one surprised me how popular it was, and I guess I just didn't, you know, obviously I'm playing with so many paddles, and I did really, really like it. I just didn't realize how popular it was because of the price point. But honestly, it makes sense. Is like a lot of these paddles end up being like 200, 300, up to 280. You can buy 3 of these and you can only buy 1 of the other paddles for the same price. And it's like, all right, now I got 3. I can have fresh grips on all of them. I can swap them out. And it just hurts my wallet a lot less. And the performance is really, really good. So it 100% makes sense to me why it's so popular. But that's it in my power paddle meta-analysis right now. A lot of great ones to choose from. And let me just get out of here for a second. Whoop. Okay, so let me just come back here for a second to kind of talk about one first. Okay, so let's talk about the weight setup I have now on my J2NF. Remember, no L is going to be on the production paddles. They don't want to battle with the NFL. Take it from me. Any sport that goes up against the NFL, they get destroyed, unfortunately. But I was doing a strip all the way up, but I was like, you know what? Let's tinker. Let's tinker. So now I have 3 grams on the corner, on the bottom corner. I've got 3 grams on the top corner, and I got that on both sides, right? I really, really like this setup. I have this on the NFT as well because I was kind of switching back and forth. I didn't I didn't want to use up because I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get another one in time for my tournament. So I was like, I don't want to, I want to, have the freshest grit possible, even though these come really gritty. It's like, in my mind, gotta have that edge. But this is what I've been liking a lot. Just get these corners going, gives it a little bit more power, gives it a little bit more balance. I don't like to go like top corners without a little bit more weight down here. You could put some in the handle to kind of balance it out, but I didn't want to do it. So right now, loving the 4 corners set up on that. Friday, yeah, just wanted to talk about this one more time about why people love it so much. It's because it delivers power at a lower swing weight that lets you customize it so much. Like you can see here, I have it going from the bottom corner up about, 6 inches, a 0.5 gram per inch strip. And you could put more on there, but having that 114 stock swing weight, it just gives you so much room to customize it to how you want to do it. And, it comes in different colors too. It's like purple, blue, black and white, and red. Something like that. So, gives you little options too. But $100, just the Friday Fever, great choice. If you want to get a power paddle that without breaking the bank, that's the one to get. Franklin C45. This is the newer one because I have a red one. This is like the production model. They switched the colors on the elongated and wide bodies. But I ended up going with about 6 grams. They have like an extra thick density tape. 6 grams on this, plays really well. Like I said, not as poppy as some of the others. And now I wanted to talk about these Revolin torch a little bit because this one has been, under the radar, and I guess blame me because I haven't been talking about it enough. We've been busy, we've been sick, all these things, a lot of excuses. But at the end of the day, you got to deliver, right? So this is the torch reach. Their reaches, they're elongated. This is a little shorter. I did measure it. It's more like maybe like 16.35 inches and then a little bit below 7.5. So kind of like a skinny hybrid, I guess. But I guess that what that gives you, right, is a lower swing weight and, more maneuverable. I actually haven't minded the skinny hybrids. The in some form, I think that it would be better if you just went full elongated and you could make it 7.4 inches wide if you needed to. But I haven't minded it. I do think that it could be better, even better. Their pure long handle wide body is fine though. Like that's a normal one. But yeah, this just it kind of plays like a paddle tech, but like slightly not as stiff. A better feel and just, kind of similar, nice, pleasant, like dud sound. But anyway, I like this design too. And how many paddles have the basalt facing? Not many. So if you're looking for something a little different on the market, I think that for me, is it I would say that the pure their long wide body with the long handle, the 5.5 inch handle. Sorry, the naming scheme is getting to me here. That's my favorite of the bunch. That's really nice. If you're looking for a different long handle wide body power paddle than the ESQ or the Scorpius, I would check out the Revolin Torch Pure long handle. There you go. The name came back to me. Check that out. That won't disappoint if you want a very aggressive wide body. Now, what else is going on? That's my analysis, the new stats, all that good stuff. I think that it really wraps it up. That's all I've got today. I actually did that a lot faster than I thought I would. So that's good. Delivered it efficiently. Going to go play in some 90-degree heat at the time of this recording, so that will be fun. I'm gonna stock the cooler, get some drinks, get some music, have a good time. And if you're at Beer City, feel free to stop me and say hi. I should be with David most of the time there, and have the tournament early start for the mixed. Unfortunately, we didn't get in for men's. Was hoping we got off the wait list, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. But we're definitely going to go out there and try to play either Friday night, Saturday night. If anyone's looking for games or can get us connected for some games, we're looking to play together. But yeah, I will be there. And for now, I've got nothing else to say. Let me know about what you think about this power paddles in this meta right now. What you think about that new stat? Is it useful? Is it just like nice to have? I mean, it's obviously easy to calculate, so I'm just going to probably include it. I just need to kind of make sure it's understood what it's trying to portray. But besides that, everyone have a great day. Good start of your week, and hopefully you get to play lots of pickleball this week. See ya.